Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Anecdotal Economist, and today I want to talk about how I failed many of my friends and family. Still no intro, so take it for what it's worth. Now, I'm imagining that some of you can relate with what I'm talking about. You see, many of us that are stackers, not all, but many of us, believe that the US dollar has some problems. Would that be putting it too strongly? And so if I was to go to somebody and say, hey, I think it would be prudent of you to maybe just buy 1 ounce of gold, just so you know how it works, just so you have it, a little bit of diversification. You know, most boomers, and I know much of my audience is boomers, but most boomers have somewhere between $500,000, $1 million plus in their IRAs and their retirement funds. And maybe just buying, at the time when I was telling most people these things, it was $1,500 an ounce, $1,600, $1,700, under $2,000. Maybe just buy one, and so you know what's going on. And of course, people would be polite and listen for a minute and go, well, that's not for me, and they would just never do it, never show any interest. Now we're up over 30% on the year. It's the best performing asset of the last 20 years. Basically, there's a few exceptions, of course, but in terms of something that's like a solid standard asset, okay, I'm not talking about meme stocks or crypto. I'm just talking about indexes and bonds and things that are sort of structured, I guess you could say. It's a very well-performing, safe asset, gold is. Last little while. And I guess I failed them. I failed because I wasn't able to put out compelling enough arguments. And some people will put out videos now saying it's too late or whatever. And I guess that's kind of what I'm saying. It's not too late. Of course, you could still buy gold and most likely still will go up. And we can make arguments why it should be 10,000 or 5,000 or 3,000 or whatever you think the number is. But at this point, if you're not convinced and you pile in, by the time people start piling in, it will be too late. It's unfortunate, but it's just like, you can kind of see what's coming here, right? Gold's going to go to $3,000-$4,000, whatever it goes to. And at whatever point it is where everybody's piling in, everybody is emptying out their retirement savings foolishly and buying gold at the top, buying silver at the top, that's when I'll be selling. And of course, at that point, I'll have been telling them to buy gold and silver for years at this point, and I'll have to say, I can't really say sell because you just got in. And I don't know where the top is exactly, so I'm not going to tell you to sell. And will the prices of gold and silver go down? Many of you say, well, I'll never sell. The prices of gold and silver will never come down again. They're going to be currency again. And you might be right. And I'm not going to sell all of my gold and silver, but I suspect there is going to be some sort of new monetary system that will stabilize things. It may take 10 years. It may take one night, depending on which countries are involved and what happens. We can't predict the future of these kinds of things. But I do believe there will be an opportunity for me to take these metals, a good portion of them anyway, and transition them back into things that I want. Investment properties, maybe a farm. I would really like to get a farm. Don't have one of those. Maybe even a sports car if things go really well. You know what I'm saying? Or a collection of sports cars. Let's dream big if we're dreaming. And so that's kind of the message of this video, is just that it's not too late yet, but the writing's on the wall. I do believe there will be another pullback, and I also believe that I will not be able to convince anybody to buy gold or silver. It's just not in the cards for me. Does anybody relate to what I'm talking about? Now, I do want to be really careful here because I'm not trying to say that gold and silver can save you or change your life. You need God for that. But it has the capability to help you financially, I believe, in the coming years. It's sort of an anchor. It's stable. And for example, I'd be willing to take on a little bit more debt, knowing that I have gold in the bank. It gives me confidence. It gives me optionality. And I think that's a good thing to have these days. The more time that goes on, the more I think that's a good thing. And so this is sort of a sad tone video, if you can't tell. I can't imagine many of you are actually going to watch it all the way through, but these are my thoughts right now, is that things are taking off. And I believe that the price of gold, is going to go up so quickly that unfortunately, people that get in will get in too late. They'll make very minimal returns. I'm not saying they'll lose money necessarily, but they won't capitalize on the best part of the gains. I think we're seeing that beginning now and over the next little while. So we'll see what happens. It'll be fun to watch. Maybe I'm wrong. Always got to put that caveat in there so nobody beats me up in the comments. Before I get to my coin review, there is one last thing I want to show you about, a little chart here Just going to show this for 30 seconds. You see this red line here. This is displaying the Chinese gold market. And right now it's underneath the yellow line, which is the COMEX sort of Western. It's sort of east versus west. And what this is signifying by the yellow line being above, potentially, it's not a guarantee, but very likely, it's signifying that the West is actually purchasing more gold than the East right now. And we know China's in a lot of trouble and a lot of things are going on. And so this is just a thought I want to put out there. I've said this for a long time. There's a lot of people who, hate America and hate the West, even though they live there. And they can see that the West is making a lot of bad decisions. And it's true they are, but you've got to remember that they have still got a lot of wealth that can be sold and turned into gold purchases very rapidly. And so I do believe there will be a race to the top to see who can buy the most gold. And I don't think the West has been knocked out quite yet. So hopefully you have some hope. And with that, this has been a massively depressing video that's supposed to come out on a Friday. So I hope you all have a good weekend, but let's get into our coin review. So today we're looking at King Arthur, and I am planning on getting this entire series. I probably shouldn't, but I am supporting the Royal Mint with their milk spots. This is actually part of the Myths and Legends that the Robin Hood series is part of. Got the big boy in the back there. I'm actually reading some books on Arthur right now, and it's made me interested enough to get some of these coins. And this particular one's from 2023, and I just have to say that this is actually one of my favorite ones, just because if you look at those clouds in the background, the way they did that, they gave a little more detail. You got sort of the castle in the background, a little more facial features with the mustache and sort of the crown and everything that's going on there. You can see details in his clothes, and that sort is just fantastic. You just didn't get that much detail, I found, in the Robin Hood ones. I feel like they upped the game a little bit with the Arthur series, despite the fact that it is kind of a little bit milk spotty in places, a little shoddily done there, but pretty good for the most part. Of course, the Queen also seems to be a bit dirty. Let's just clean that up. Oh no, it's not dirt. It is literally just milk spots. Just milk spots. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Nothing new to say about the Queen here. It's pretty similar. I think maybe she got a little bit more jewelry this year. Did they change it? I don't even know. Too many queens to count. Too many different countries. But I do like this coin quite a bit. I don't know what you guys think of it. Like I said, I think I am going to go ahead and get the whole series, just because I think British history is cool, Western history is cool, and so I'm a big fan. I'm going to go ahead and swap out the Sonic. And if you made it this far, this wasn't my greatest video, I can already tell. But I just want to say I really appreciate you watching. It is truly a pleasure to read all your comments. And so if you want to leave me a comment, today's word will be king. That's how you can support the channel if you have nothing to say. And I guess for now, that's it. That's my 2 ounces worth. Remember, I'm pulling for you, and we're all in this together.
Kilogram, you're the dragon, you're the rabbit.
Okay, let's look at the money side now. Watch as I pull this bad boy out of here. Absolutely stunning once you get it out of the case. Feeling the weight of this in my hand. Oh, that's such a good feeling.
I never had enough gold.